Welcome back to the second hour of the Matt McNeil Show. My name is Philip Anthony. I am here substituting for Matt McNeil today, and I'm here with Austin and Ann. Wave, say hi. We love all of Matt's listeners, and I have a treat for all of you today. I have somebody on the line here who has just written a book, and she also has a television show. Yeah, right? Ellie. She has a radio show, The Illegal Trans Woman, here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. Her name is Ellie Krug. So say hello, Ellie.
Hello, Philip. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Hey, Ellie.
I'm
Hi.
doing great. Can you hear my co-hosts as well? All of us?
Yes, I can hear everybody. Thanks.
Oh, good. They want to hear what you have to say as well. Now, I wanted you on the show because I was made aware that you have a book coming out, or is out, or about to be out. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I can. Are you getting some feedback from me? I'm just wondering.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. How about now? Is that better? Okay, yeah. Is that better? Okay.
I don't know. Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, I hear you now, yes. Technical difficulties,
okay,
folks.
All right. That's okay. Yes. To answer your question, I do have a book out, a brand new book. The title is Being Ellen, A Second Chance at Life. The book follows my first book, published in 2013, which was titled Getting to Ellen, memoir about love, honesty, and gender change. So the first book was my coming out story. And the second book, Being Ellen, is what's it like to go and live as a woman for 15 years after having lived 5 decades presenting as a dude.
Yeah. And so first, let's get into where they could get the book, because before we talk about the book any further, where can this book be purchased? Amazon, I guess?
Yep, the book is available on Amazon, Kindle. It's available at Barnes & Noble. You can order it from your local bookstore. You can contact me, Ellie Krug, at elliekrug@gmail.com if you want an inscribed copy.
That's great.
And there's going to be a book launch, launch for the book, where the book certainly will be available. That's going to happen on August 21st. That's Thursday, beginning at 6:30 at the American.
We're all writing it down, Ellie. August 21st.
Yep, at the American Legion. It's a little kitschy, but it'll all work. In Chanhassen. So there'll be a cash bar, there'll be appetizers, there'll be Ellie Krug.
Okay.
And 6 p.m.
I'm there. What did she say? Oh, yeah, the time.
6:30.
6:30.
Okay. Thursday, August 21st.
American Legion in Chanhassen at 6:30.
Yep, American Legion.
We wrote it.
Right off of Highway 5.
Right off Highway 5. Okay, I think I know where that is. Yeah, it's kind of isn't it kind of close to the dinner theater there, right? Sort of, kind of.
It is. It's not very far at all from the dinner theater.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to start the first question, and then I'm going to go around the table because I'm sure my co-hosts have a question for you as well. So this second book is pretty much part 2 of your life, basically. And where does it pick up and where does it end off?
So I moved to the Twin Cities after I lost my law practice in Cedar Rapids in 2009. So I started living here in the Twin Cities full-time in April of 2010. And the book picks up pretty much around that time period. And then it goes all the way through when I got elected to the local school board out here in eastern Carver County. So that would be 2022. So the book follows all of that. And there's some postscript developments that take the reader really literally up to the present time. But the theme about the book is about second chances. And the question is really, what do we do with our second chances that we get in life? I mean, do we take advantage of them or do we squander them? Because all of us get second chances. All of us do.
Right.
And when my life of 50 some years presenting as a man ended, and I was able to finally live as the true me, I decided I was going to take complete and full advantage of living as Ellie Krug. And so some of that meant learning the rules about womanhood, because I didn't get that with, a bunch of teenage girlfriends sitting in pink-walled bedrooms. And so learning some of those rules, and I'm here to report that some of them I still am learning. And then me being an idealist, going forward and trying to change the world, with the words of Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy ringing in my head all the time. My regular listeners would know what I'm talking about. And then also the book has themes around chosen family, because I have been best friends, believe it or not, with somebody since 8th grade. He was the 8th grade quarterback. I was the frontline guard. And
Nice.
He never, ever wavered in his support of me. And once I transitioned, I actually became a part of his family. And then The book also details about people lost. I lost my sister when I transitioned genders. I lost my oldest daughter. And then about the need to keep one's heart open when you've lost people, because often they come back, as was the case with both my sister and my daughter. And so both of them we are good, real good right now. And they love Ellie Krug because they get to see that I'm so much happier, at least so much more at peace as me, as the true me.
Yeah. And we discussed this too before the show about people that support us and have our back. That's more important than anything, Ellie. Family, you can't choose them, and friends you can. They become closer sometimes than your own family. So, and we all love you. So we hope this book really resonates with all people, whether they be LGBTQ+ or allies, anybody. Austin, do you have a question for Ellie today?
I'm so excited listening to you talk about the themes of this book. Found family, that is like my niche for reading. So I've got this added on my reading list. I'm just so excited for this, and I've got the book launch marked down. I am curious, do you think that writing the first book or this book was easier or harder?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a really great question, Austin. I'll tell you, I had to unlearn writing like a lawyer and learn how to write like a human for the first book. So I had to take classes. I took classes at the Loft, and then hired when the first book came, as I was writing the first book, I think 5 sets of professional eyes to look at that book to make sure that it was up to professional standards. But in many ways, that book was much easier to write than this second book. The second book took a long time to write. I started writing it in 2014, and then I kept getting sidetracked by various things. But, 2 years ago, July of 2023, I said, well, you're either going to do it or not. And I moved a desk in my sunroom so it faced the slider out onto a patio, out onto a deck. And I dedicated myself every day, 2 to 4 hours every day, to writing that second book. It worked, but it was a long slog. And I think I've developed a little bit of PTSD from it.
Understandable.
I could get that. Anne, do you have a question for Ellie?
I'm really excited to hear about the book. I haven't read either one, and I'm excited to read both. I also I love hearing how idealist and optimistic you stay despite challenges in life. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about how you found chosen family, how you kept an open heart while you had family members who weren't ready to be there with you and support you. I imagine I work a lot with families, and there are parents and caregivers who are queer who don't have, their parents' support as they're having children. And I'm just curious, what advice you would give either those parents or youth who are, not accepted by their families.
Well, those are a lot of questions. So let me.
Sorry,
but no, as I would expect from a therapist. Okay, so to answer the first question about the chosen family, his name is Thap. That's a nickname that I bestowed on him a long time ago. He and I have been best friends. I mean, we hung out with each other very closely in high school. And then after that, it was letters and phone calls. And we just had this same resonance, even though we are very different people. I am intellectual and touchy-feely. He is a hunter. Okay.
Okay.
And more of a man's man, but somehow we stayed together. And I think that all he cared about with me transitioning genders was whether we were still going to be able to drink beer together. He's like, I don't care. I don't care.
That's cute.
For an address. I just want to make sure you drink a beer with me. And that's not a problem. But what happened was, as he supported me, there were some tragedies in his family that I supported him in. And I detail those in the book. So I want to make sure that I acknowledge Thap and his wife. Her nickname is Bebo. And then they have a daughter, Nisty. All three of them allowed me to intrude into their lives, to write about their lives. So it was reciprocal, in the end, reciprocal support. But isn't that what family does? I mean, it's not a one-way street. Yeah. So the book is about them, and it's also about second chances that they earned. And their daughter, Nisty, and I have become, she's like my third daughter. I'm very incredibly close to her. In fact, her artwork is on the cover of the book.
Aww.
So, cool. And everybody in the Thap family gets to wear a certain ring, and so do I. It's right here. I get to wear that ring as well. Now, the second question was about how I kept my heart open. Yeah. Now, the thing I learned, and this doesn't just apply to trans people or queer people, it applies to anybody, but we're talking about me being transgender. What I learned early on is that I had a choice when I lost people. I could have done two different things. First, I could have closed my heart off to the person that I lost, and it could have said, well, the heck with you. You're saying the heck with me. That tit for tat feels good in the moment. But the problem is that it closes the door to somebody coming back. Yep. And I'm a huge believer in the idea that people suffocate behind closed doors. And so I vowed, I took the second course, and that was, if I lost anyone, I always told them, I will wait for you. I will wait for you to come back. Now, that hurt like hell, I've just got to tell you, okay, because your heart bleeds on and on and on, all right, because you still have this hope that they will return. But having done that, both with my sister and my daughter, made it far easier for them to come back. And when I speak with a lot of trans people, and I always urge them to take that second course about leaving their hearts open. What advice do I have to parents of queer kids, or particularly trans kids? My biggest advice is to love them. Yeah. And I know simple, that maybe right? This is not the journey that they plan to take with their child. This is not maybe what their hope had been for their child, but that's life. Life throws things at us all the time. And part of being a parent is pivoting with that and never allowing the love to become strangled or to be cut off, or never to dole it out only if the child does certain things that you find acceptable. I think that we also have to understand that parents of queer kids, particularly trans kids, are afraid. They're afraid personally about being judged for having a child that is different from the norm, whatever the norm is anymore, okay? But they're also afraid for the child. They're mm-hmm. afraid in this world right now, particularly where we are, particularly with trans kids, kids who identify as non-binary. My God, it is a very volatile
scary
time.
Yeah.
It is very scary. Even in blue, love thy neighbor, Minnesota.
Yes.
scary place.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, certainly getting therapy is incredibly important for families where they're struggling with this. Certainly, I have a standing offer, and I'll make it right now that I'm willing to talk to any human for up to an hour, and I don't watch my watch, to talk about anything related to having a child or someone in their life who is LGBTQ+.
Yes.
I'm not a therapist, okay, but I do have some perspective, and I have some wisdom that I'm more than happy to share with people. And believe it or not, there are people that take me up on that. So if there are listeners out there struggling, okay, go to elliekrug.com. You'll find my email or my phone number if you look closely, and feel free to reach out to me. That was a very long answer. I hope all of that was okay.
Wow, Ellie.
It was wonderful. Thank you.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say one thing. I know for a fact this book is going to help a lot of LGBTQ plus people if they read it, because you're just a bright light and you're just very encouraging. And as far back as I could remember, I was wet behind the ears, guys, when I started this show. Mm-hmm. And Ellie was one of my earlier interviews. And after I finished the interview, and I always say this to her, she's probably like, "Oh God, Philip, why you?" She was like, "Philip, that was great. You did a great job." And she encouraged me. So I think that's your mission, Ellie, is to encourage people to be their authentic selves. You're just a bright light. That's all I have to say. Mm-hmm. And I hope that everyone out there goes to their Amazon or wherever fine books are sold and purchases Being Ellen, A Second Chance at Life. And Ellie, thank you so much for being on the Matt McNeil Show, and keep doing the good work.
Well, thanks, Philip. Thanks so very much, and Austin and Ann, thanks so very much for your wonderful questions, and thanks for having me on. And keep up the good work, all three of you. And I'll see you around.
Thank you.
Great to talk to you.
August 21st at the American Legion in Chanhassen, 6:30 p.m. I wrote it down, Ellie.
Cash bar.
Cash bar.
All right. See you there.
Bye, Ellie.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye. So long.
Bye now. Oh, that was incredible. That was incredible. She's an amazing person.
Absolutely.
She knows how
you can feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she encouraged me. I mean, I was really scared. And Patrick even remembers when I started this show, I was like, Patrick, was that good? Patrick, was this good? Patrick, was that good? Because I was very, I always wanted approval. And I think that's what people want.
Yeah.
Everybody wants someone to say, hey, good job.
Totally.
It's just the way humanity is. I think we're going to take a break soon, aren't we, Patrick? Are we close?
Yep, whenever you want.
Whenever I want. Okay, let's do it now.
That's dangerous.
Because I want to leave on that wonderful note with Ellie Krug. I don't want to darken it up with any more drama. So this is the Matt McNeil Show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.